Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the State Police exhibit here at the New York State Fair. I now draw your attention to the portable dive tank as we proudly present our scuba demonstration.
All right. How's everybody today? Everybody awake? Okay. Well, welcome to the State Police exhibit here at the Great New York State Fair, Day 3. Who's been here in prior days at the State Fair? How many times do you usually come? 3? Any more than that? Everybody come every day? You come every day? Every day to the fair? Do you work here? Yeah, you come every day. You and I gotta talk a little. All right. Well, we are the underwater recovery team for the New York State Police. What we're going to do for you here today is we're going to give you a little demonstration about some of the things that we teach these guys in novice dive school. When I'm referring to novice dive school, that's the school that we put these guys through when they first come on the team. Now, we are the oldest and largest public safety dive team in the entire country. We are also, thank you. We are also one of the very few teams in the country that actually have our own training program. We are a dive training facility. We certify our guys in open water scuba, and we certify them in public safety diving. So when I refer to our novice training, that's our initial training when the guys first come on the team. So, without further ado, let's get the guys out here and draw your attention to the top of the tank. And first up, from Troop C, down south near Binghamton, is your Troop C dive team leader, Trooper Neil Case. And next up, his much smaller counterpart from here in Troop D, Trooper Josh Gloss. And last, but certainly not least, your hometown favorite, the Troop D team leader from here in Central New York, Trooper Greg Ebro. Troop G. Now what these guys are going to do is they're going to give you a little demonstration on some of the basic scuba techniques that we teach here in our novice school, and then we'll move into some of the techniques we use in recovering some items during the public safety diving portion of training. So we're going to get these guys in the water, get their gear on. While they're getting their gear on, please direct your attention to the second floor window of the SOAR tower. That's our sound booth. And our sound man, Trooper Brian DeRochi. That's Trooper Brian DeRochi's hand. I should introduce. That's all you'll ever see. All right, hey, we're going to get these guys to the water, but first thing they got to do is they got to drop their gear.
So get in the water.
Yeah, I know. Drop your gear. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these guys get dressed at the bottom of the tank underwater. What do you think? Good idea? That's a better idea. Yeah, I just thought of that during lunch. Yeah, drop it. Yeah, take it off. Throw it in. There you go. Yeah, that's a better idea. All right. Now we'll get them in the water. I'm gonna eat. No, I don't like that either. Throw the mask in too.
He can't see without his mask.
He can't see with his mask. I've seen him dive. All right, there we go. Who said that? All right, now let's get them in the water and see what they can do. Everybody out here, give me a hand. Let's get them in the water. Let's do a 3-second countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! All right, it's a race. Let's see who wins. You've got a little head start. We'll help with Greg Ebro. He's a little older, been on the team a little bit longer. You get a little head start. Well, let's see who gets your stuff on first. Every buckle. Every snap. Order to complete the task. Mask has to be cleared. Hands up when you're done. There we go. I got Neil by the nose. All right, well done. That was a close one. All right. Now what these guys are going to do is they're going to give you a little demonstration of some of the techniques we teach in open water scuba. First thing they're going to show you is neutral buoyancy control. Now who out here are certified divers? 1, 2, few of you guys. You know what I'm talking about. Buoyancy control comes with a lot of practice. It's pretty hard to get precise with when you first start diving. These guys have been diving for a number of years. Neutral buoyancy is what you want to obtain as a diver. It makes it easiest to swim through the water, either rising or falling in the water column. Now, as public safety divers, what we're looking for, because we have a job to do when we get down to the bottom of these waterways, is we have things to look for. Where do you think those things are? They're on the bottom, right? So most of the time, these guys are scrounging around in the mud at the bottom of these lakes and rivers. But this is neutral buoyancy. We're also going to show you some mask clearing techniques. That's simply taking the mask off underwater. They put the mask back on, they clear the water out of it, they put it back on their face to be able to continue with their dive. Now we dive upwards to 100 to 135 feet sometimes underwater. We can't always afford ourselves the ability to go to the surface and fix any problems, so we teach our guys to fix any problems they have at the bottom. Now how they do this is they hold the top of the mask to their forehead, they tip the bottom out a little bit, they'll exhale through their nose, and then water will actually drain right out of their mask. The other skill that we have them perform is regulator retrieval. It's simply they'll take the regulator, that's the mouthpiece they're breathing out of in their mouth. They'll take that out, throw it over their shoulder. There's a couple of different ways they retrieve that. They can dip their shoulder, retrieve the regulator. They can reach back, follow the hose out, grab their regulator, put it back in their mouth. After all, that's where they get their air from, so it's a fairly important part of the equipment. Finally, what they're going to show you is buddy breathing. Now, buddy breathing is both divers breathing off the same air system. This comes into play should they have a problem with their equipment. One of them runs out of air, they have an equipment issue that they can't get air out of their system. They go over to their partner, they tap them very gently on the shoulder, they give them an out of air signal, and the partner says, yeah, I'll give you some air, or sometimes they say, no, I don't think so. In which case it's a really bad long day for that other guy. So they'll share air like this until they can get to the surface, up and out, and into safety, and aboard the dive. Now they use their fins that are in this tank to propel them through the water. And we also have other equipment that we use to propel us around the waterways. What Greg Eagle has in his hands up there, he's going to hand to the divers are called DPVs, the diver propulsion vehicles. The battery-operated propulsion vehicles that these guys use underwater to transport themselves from point A to point B. They can also use these to search patterns underwater when there's visibility. Sometimes they may use them to get actually out to a search pattern if it happens to be 200 or 300 yards offshore. It keeps them from using a lot of extra energy, a lot of extra air, just getting out to the search pattern, and it makes their performance much more efficient. These guys are going to zip around in a tank here for you. Don't try this at home. They're trained professionals. They've been training for this specific detail for about an hour and a half. I was listening to them when they were working this out. They go head on. They both have to veer. They both have to veer to the left. And they actually went like. So I'm not sure Josh goes left and right, but. All right, so we're going to get Josh out of the water, and Neil's going to perform another task for you, another drill. It's called the ditch and don. The ditch and don is simply taking all your gear off the bottom of the tank. He's going to leave it at the bottom. He's going to go to the surface. He's going to take a breath. He'll dive back down, put all of his gear back on, just like we did at the beginning of the show. Now, there's a reason that we train these guys in our school to do this, and we train them to do it. We have them do it over and over and over again until they can do it in their sleep, blindfolded, upside down and backwards. And there's a reason for that. There's a definite difference between recreational diving and public safety diving. Recreational divers get to pick where they go. So nice blue water down in the Caribbean. Looks a lot like the water we have in the tank. Public safety divers don't have a choice where they go. They go where they're needed. It's usually very limited visibility or zero visibility. Now, as Neil dropped his gear and he went to the surface, you can see him blowing bubbles on the way out. All the air was coming out of his mouth. There's a reason for that. He's breathing compressed air off of that tank at the bottom of this pool under pressure. What happens with compressed air when you take a breath at the bottom of this pool and go to the surface, that air in his lungs actually expands when he comes up. So if he did not let that out, he did not exhale that on the way up, that air in his lungs would actually expand to a point where it would actually blow a bubble through his lungs and cause him overexpansion injury, which can be deadly depending on where that bubble goes through his lungs and into his bloodstream. We're going to do it blindfolded. In any case, if that actually happened, his diving days would be over with. He would have scar tissue on his lungs, and his usefulness to a public safety dive team would be over. So it has to be very careful how we do this. So put his gear back on at the bottom. Again, all the straps hook back together, buckles, snap, snap. When he gets all done, the last thing goes back on is his mask. We'll clear that and be ready to go. And there we are. There we go. All right. Well done. Now, who was paying attention a couple months ago when we had a soccer team trapped in a cave down in Thailand? Who saw that? Yeah, just about everybody, right? It made big news. Who actually kept track of that rescue operation? I followed it pretty closely. Now, what those rescuers had to do, when I first heard about this, the team went down to that cave, it rained, they flooded, they couldn't get out. First thing I said was, they sent some divers down, teach these kids how to dive. That's pretty much what they did. They sent experts down, they taught the kids how to use the equipment, and then they went down, and they brought them out. Now this cave system wasn't just a big cave they were walking through. It was a pretty elaborate cave system for very small openings that they had to crawl up through in zero visibility. What we're going to do for you is kind of show you a little bit about what they may have had to encounter and how they kind of achieved success with that rescue. So this tunnel that they're hooking up is going to symbolize restriction in the cave, a small opening. You see Josh is back in the tank. He's got a helmet on, he's got his cave gear on. Helmet is protecting his head going through the cave system. What he'll do to fit through that small opening is take his gear off. He's going to remain breathing off that system. We'll hold it out in front of him, pass it through that restriction, and follow it through. Now you can see some of the drills that we used at the beginning of the show, how they're used in practical application when we do some rescues and some searches. We'll follow that gear through the hole, through the tunnel, to the other side. It's also the reason I picked Josh to do the part of the demonstration. It's actually the only one that actually fits in that tunnel. I've been telling you, man, no salad. No salad. So he's got the package, he's going to turn. He's going to return through the tunnel in the same fashion. If you notice his kick with his fins, knees bent, fins up in the air, gives a little flick with his ankles, to propel himself through that tunnel. That's called a cave fit. That keeps the fins up off the bottom of the cave, helps from stirring up some of the sediment down there. Hopefully it keeps his visibility so he can see as much as possible. So he's through his obstruction, put his gear back on, then he can continue to the next obstruction that he has in the cave. Now, even though the rescue was successful, they actually got all 12 kids and the coach out of that cave system, which was actually pretty amazing, seeing as I just read an article where they were willing to accept 4 fatalities. That was their accepted losses, and they came out with everybody. Except there was one incident, tragic incident, what happened. One of the divers died. It was a Thailand Navy SEAL, and he drowned during the rescue attempt. Which reminds us exactly how dangerous this situation is, diving is. Recreational diving is dangerous in and of itself. Public safety diving is another level. These guys go in where nobody else can and nobody else wants to, and we're a lot of times nobody else should be. Right? So every day these guys are putting their lives on the line to bring this stuff out, victims out, evidence, and stolen property, things like that. So what'd you get? What'd you find? We'll open it up. This is like Christmas. Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Yeah. That's too much. Not right now. Later. But what else you get? Oh man. Hey, give me lunch. All right. It's always good to find something. Like I said, we do all of our own training. Our novice training consists of 8 weeks continuous training. We use the Navy dive standards when we train our divers. We train them in open water scuba. There's a ladder right there, you can get out. No? You good? You're hungry now. All right. It's 8 weeks long. Like I said, we certify them in open water scuba. We also train them and certify them in public safety diving, which means dry suit training, full face mask, surface supply air, hull searches, things of that nature, skills they're going to need out in the field. When they complete their 8-week course, they join their troop teams out in the troops. There are 8 different dive teams in the troops across the state, 8 divers attached to each team. The senior diver, the team leader on each team, is full-time. That's all he does is administer and supervise his team. All the others are on-call basis. They're assigned to boat patrol duties, administrative duties. They're on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We dive under the ice in the wintertime. We have a week-long ice dive in-service training in about February and March. Make sure these guys are up on their ice dive training. All right, so we've got an ATV center in the water here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to recover this ATV. Who out here has an ATV? Anybody? How much does it weigh? How much does it weigh? 150? 115? Can you pick it up? Move it around? Most good-sized ATVs run 3, 4, 5, 600 pounds. That's something you're going to pick up off the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some assistance in picking this up off the bottom. We're also going to use a different system on the diver to recover this ATV because it's a lift operation. Now, up until this point, these guys were using scuba. Scuba is an acronym. What's it stand for? Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. That means everything is contained. The diver takes everything he needs with him. What we're going to use in this case is surface supply of air. Now, surface supply of air is just that. We have a compressor out back, which is supplying this orange box here with air. The air goes through a regulator, it comes out in this yellow hose right here, and that goes up to the diver up top. In this case, Greg Ebro has surface supply of air on. It's attached to his helmet. The tender, Neil Case, is going to put his helmet on. This is called hatting the diver. So once we get the diver hatted, we'll do a communication check. We do have communications with the diver. So we're going to set Greg down. You can see the helmet down here that Greg has on his head. It weighs just shy of 35 pounds. And when you hook up the umbilical and everything else that's hooked onto that, you're talking upwards of about 45 pounds of helmet weight on his head. So as soon as we get the diver hatted, we want to get him in the water as soon as possible. So Neil dropped him in the water. You also notice he breaks down wearing fins. This is usual fashion if we have just a specific target that we want Greg to go down and lift. He's going to go down, he's going to walk around down on the bottom, and he's going to lift this ATV. Now he's going to use some assistance, like I said. He's going to use a lift bag to lift this ATV out. Now a lift bag is just that, it's a bag. He's going to attach it upside down to the 4-point lift system we have on this ATV. He's going to use some air from his air system and put it in that lift bag. It's going to make that lift bag buoyant, when it becomes buoyant enough to overcome the weight of that ATV, it'll float to the surface. Now the idea is to get just enough air in that lift bag to get it started, because as it moves through the water column, what's going to happen? You learned earlier. The air is going to expand. As it expands, it's going to start moving faster and faster through the water column. So you got it going nice and slow. A nice slow lift to the surface right there. Well done. All right. All right. Now this is the safest way to do things like this. You use helmets and surface slide air in confined spaces, meaning under the ice or inside a ship, inside a cave, things like that. You have to go into also lift operations for the same reason, because what goes up sometimes must come down, right? So in case something comes down on top of him, at least he's got a helmet on to protect his head. Now Greg's going to perform one more air expansion demonstration. Let's see how this works. Let's see how far out of the tank you can get this time. All right, there we go. Spectacular. Last year he did that, and there was a woman standing on the steps right in front of the Dorsey Museum over there. She was getting ready to go to the concert that night. She was all decked out, looking nice. And that ball came out, flew over her head, and took a wall of water with that, and drenched her. And it was hilarious. All right, that's the conclusion of the show. I appreciate your time here. We'll be around. If you have any questions, please come up and ask us. If any of the kids want to step up and play some tic-tac-toe with Greg at the end of the tank, please do so. He'll be in that water for a little while. He's on surface supplied air, so he can keep living in there all day. All right? The Canine Show is coming up next at 3:15. Please stick around. Enjoy your day at the fair.